I'm leaving the hospital. I just visited my husband, and he's been here most of the week. And I came earlier today to see him. And I thought, because the nurse had told me he was going to be discharged today, so I left and ran some errands, and then I came back and I talked to him. As my husband, had the doctor said anything to him about being discharged today, and he said no. And so it seems like it's not happening today. And there are not enough words right now to just kind of express just how frustrated I am and how rough this week has really been. Oh goodness, parking here is horrible. I've been trying to get paperwork signed by doctors, and you would think being in a hospital you would have no problem tracking down a doctor, but nurses are everywhere, doctors not so much. And it's just been rough, but God reminded me this will pass, like every other season, every other storm that we've been through. This will pass. I will make it through, like I always do. God has me. It will work out. And hold on. So, needless to say, this week has been just full of, feels like, frustration on top of frustration on top of frustration. And I'm not getting a lot of sleep, so that's kind of wearing me down. And I needed some paperwork filled out by my husband's doctor, so I reached out, trying to see if she could, do this paperwork for me. And she had one of the medical assistants, reach back out to me and tell me she couldn't fill the paperwork out without me scheduling an appointment for my husband. Mind you, I said in the message, he has been admitted to the hospital. So I don't know how long he's going to be here, and schedule an appointment. So then, of course, that when it comes down to it, people say that they care. People say that they, it's all about giving good care and all of that. But at the end of the day, what I hear is schedule an appointment so that I can get paid. And I get it. Somebody might think, well, he's in the hospital. Have someone at the hospital fill out the paperwork. Well, you're his primary care physician. I thought that's what PCPs were for. Also, it is amazing how difficult it is to nail down a actual doctor when you're in the hospital, because a lot of times the nurses are doing the work. You're seeing the nurses. So for me to see the doctor, I pretty much camped out. I'm guessing, I know, through times where I have been in the hospital, sometimes they make their rounds about 9 or 10, depends, 11. So I'm like, I just gotta be up here, be at the hospital, so whenever a doctor comes through, I can speak to the doctor and not speak to a nurse, and put more on them, because nurses are dealing with a lot already. And I could go on and on and on about it, but I'm not. Then, to add to my misery, I caught the kids' colds. But I think they're feeling better, but I finally am feeling like a little bit of something going on. And don't really want to take anything that puts me out of commission, because I still have to, do a lot. I still have to drive drive the kids where they need to go. I need to, I need to be alert to come down here to visit my husband, and I can't be groggy for that. So I'm just drinking juices, drinking tea, using throat lozenges, taking acetaminophen, and despite, like yesterday, I was really just so frustrated about this paperwork, because when I finally nailed the doctor down and he said he would do it, he said he would have it by yesterday, and then he did not, and I had pretty much stayed at the hospital all day, in anticipation of getting that paperwork from him, and didn't get it, and still don't have it. And I was driving home, and traffic is crazy, so add that on top of I'm frustrated, but I gotta stay focused, and I have to stay calm so that I can make good choices out here and get home safely, right? And I hear God say to me, don't stress it. I have it. Cast your burdens on me. I will make sure that you get what you need. Don't spend another minute stressing about this paperwork. Just get home safely, get some rest. And I instantly feel better. I'm like, well, Lord, thank you. That's what I'll do. And if I get the paperwork today or tomorrow, or word from a nurse that, they have the paperwork from the doctor, however it works out, God has told me that he has it. So that's that. That's something off of my plate. And then my husband, he, of course, I was sitting there today, and, like I said, thinking that he'd be discharged, and it doesn't seem like that's the case for today. And, just like he told me yesterday, he told me today, baby, you can go home. You don't have to sit down here all day, But, and of course, he's in pain, and he's, kind of out of it. So it's not like we're sitting there talking or anything like that. But I wanted to be there, because it's what I would want someone to do for me. And I want, when he does open his eyes, I want him to see that, someone who loves you is present, and not just the nurses coming in, and the, doctors coming in, and, the techs coming in. You're a wife who loves you. I miss him. I think part of why I'm having trouble sleeping is because he's not there, and then I know that he's not doing well, and so I'm going through all of that, and other things have come up, and like on a spiritual, mental level for me, going through trying times like this, and you just think about the times in your life when you feel alone. We don't really have family here in Colorado, and I was saying to my daughter yesterday, but even if we did, what good would they be? And then that made me a little sad. But then again, God, he reminded me that I have him, and I am never alone. Even when you feel like you're alone, God is with you. I belong to him. He loves me. He works everything out for my good. Even when I'm going through a rough patch, it doesn't last forever. He gives me the strength that I need to get through it, to manage everything. He still allows me to have joy. Like I'm just kind of down right now because I'm tired. Because also too, when I have to walk, like first I have to find a parking space at the hospital. And yesterday, I promise you, I was driving around for 30 minutes. Like the hospital was so packed yesterday. So I'm just kind of drained, and I need to renew myself in the Lord. Have some time, have some downtime with God. That's what I need. So I'm headed back towards the house, but I need to, run a couple of errands before I get back to the house. And when I get back to the house, I'm going to relax until about 4, and I'll be dropping my son off at work. Then I'll go back to the house and just breathe. And there's a lot of, you think about all these things that need to be done. But sometimes when you're going through something, you're doing the things that have to be done. And some of the things that you think you need to do, those things can wait. Those things can wait. Maybe later on tonight, maybe tomorrow. Those things are not necessarily things that are going to get done today. I'm handling what needs to be handled. And like that's a lesson for me, but learn from me. Like sometimes you need to get things done, and then sometimes there are things on your list that can wait. And right now I've got to take care of myself so that I am okay to take care of everyone else. And that's not just a physical thing because I forgot to eat yesterday while I was at the hospital. I didn't eat. And so then that had me feeling a little shaky. We need to take care of ourselves physically, but then we also need to do what has to be done so that we are spiritually okay, mentally okay. And if that means I'm going to get in the bed, have something good to eat, I haven't decided what I want to watch. I'll figure that out when I lay down. And I may not watch anything. I might just turn everything off and take a nap. I think I need a nap. So I'm hoping that my husband gets discharged tomorrow because he's ready. He's ready to come home. And anytime he's ready to come home and then I have to leave him, I'm sad. Like, I don't like having to leave him when he's ready to come home. Where you're comfortable. And because a lot of times when you're in the hospital, you can't really, first of all, you're in pain. And then even if you're not in pain, I know when you're in the hospital, you can't really relax because people are constantly coming in. They're constantly coming in the room to check one thing or another. But yes, rest. It is Saturday and it's almost 3 p.m. So there's some time for me to rest. Even if I just rest between the time that my son gets to work and tonight when I need to pick him up. Just rest. And when I say rest, I don't mean get to the house, because my mind says clean up. My mind says wash dishes, wash clothes, mop. I don't think that's what needs to be done right now. I actually really, truly need to rest. That's what needs to happen. I think that's the order of the day right now. Some real rest. And I just want to thank you for listening to me. Um, Thank you for clicking on the video. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed to my channel. I want to thank everybody that's watched a video of mine. And until next time, be sweet, be grateful, stay optimistic. And when you need to rest, rest. Get some rest. Bye.